Good morning, crafty friends, and welcome to another Wednesday morning craft along with me, your host, Simone from Blonde Cards and Crafts. So- I'm so sorry about that. I couldn't help myself. Yeah, this morning we are going to craft with some of the wonderful made to surprise products, and in particular, I'm going to make another card using the June collection, the exploding box mechanism. I have brought to you two cards, one in a live and one in a video, showing you how you can add your twist and put your box inside a card base. One was an 8x8 and the other was 6x6, kind of. It was in and around 6x6. Today I'm going to do another kinda in and around 6x6 card, but I have changed it up a little bit. The mechanism is still going to be inside a card, but this time it's going to be a gatefold card. And this was inspired by Sam's live that she did. She put it on an 8x8 card piece. So it was a panel scored in the middle so that the box would pop up, but it wasn't inside a card base. So I'm going to do it with a gatefold card base. Now, before I go there, I want to do my usual of a quick hello to everyone in the chat. I was in there chatting with them before the live started, but I still would like to give a shout out to my fab moderator and paper crafter and crafty sister, Benita. Benita is under a pile of papers. Yes, that's her YouTube channel name, not where she's actually at the moment, but she's there moderating the chat. So if I miss any questions, Benita will hopefully be able to answer them for you. I will do my best to keep an eye on the chat. If you would like me or Benita to see a question you have, please put them in capital letters. That way they won't be missed, you know, with all the other chat that is going on there. So yeah, I'm going to say a quick hello. I know that the first in the chat was Hazel from Witch Hazel. I love that name. It's another fab one, like under a pile of papers. We also have Deb from DJM Hallett, another great YouTuber. We have Tammy Channon, again, another great YouTuber. So many great YouTubers in the chat. So if you're new to my channel this morning, or you're watching the live back later, and again, you're new to the channel, or you're looking for some really fab crafters, there are a number of crafters in the chat. I'll be giving them a shout out as well. So pop over to YouTube and have a look and see if you can find them. I do allow links in the live chat, guys. So if you'd like to pop your link in for people to see, you're more than welcome to. Once the video is over, it will stay up on YouTube, but YouTube will then process the video. So the live chat won't be available for about 12 hours after the live is finished. So what will happen is if you come in and you're watching it and you don't see the option in the comment section to either hype or watch the live comments, that's because YouTube hasn't finished rendering the live. So do come back later when the live chat is available and have a scroll through all the comments and you'll see the great, really fab paper crafters that are in there. Okay, we also have, and another fab paper crafter is the lovely Cara from Little Rabbit Designs. Who else is in here? See. Tammy M is here. Jeanette Morrison is here. Jules is here. Good morning. Good morning, Pippa. Rita, my lovely crafty sister, another fab crafty sister, is in the chat there as well. Good morning. I know, Rita, you're working at the moment and have me on in the background. So you're multitasking there. Fair play. We have Manic Stitcher. That's Lynette is there. Marie Hopkins. And I think I'm caught up with everyone. So at the moment we have 20 watching, and that's a lovely number. I hope you're going to enjoy the live. Now, I'm going to bring the camera down to the desk, but what I want to talk to you very quickly first is about printing. scanning images that you may have colored and then printing them up. This is something, I got a new printer this year and I've been very invested in coloring my images, scanning them, printing them, and then having like my own ephemera, in essence, is what it is. So I want to bring you down to the desk and I want to share with you something I've learned, and this is a game changer for me. So on my desk here, I have some images. I have colored and stamped the images that we're going to use today. So when I colored them in using my Ohuhu markers, and this is how the images look. Now, I know you're looking through the screen, and something I learned today is when you color your images and scan them, the quality sometimes isn't as good as if you get a digital image and print that up. So we must be aware of, you know, what our printers can do and the quality we're going to get. And that was only something I learned yesterday, thanks to my crafty friend, Lynn. And Lynn is on holidays, so I don't think she's in the chat. So hello to you, Lynn, if you're watching this back later. So this is the images that I colored using my Ohuhus, and I love them. And I wanted something that would represent the vibrancy of these images. So I purchased a plethora of inkjet color paper. So it would be your paper for printing out colored images. Now, I think you can see when I've printed them up, the printed images that I scanned in, they don't look as vibrant. They're duller than the ones that I have colored here on the left. So I've tried a number of different papers, and this is the, gosh, what's it called? Let me just get it down. Navigator. It's the Navigator printer. I couldn't think the word. Words are sometimes hard, especially when you're on the spot. So this is the Navigator paper, and I was a little disappointed because you can see some of the printing is a little orange. Now I know I could go in and tweak the settings in my printer, but I was a bit loath to do that. So I thought, right, well, what I can do is I can take these images and then just using one marker. So from my Ohuhu, I picked out a red and I went over the reds on this. And you can see that's just the reds bleeding through. And I thought, well, you know what? That's great. My images that I colored here are a kind of a pinky red, but I went with a reddy red on this one. So you can see the difference. But then a lovely crafty friend called Anne, she actually gave me a nudge towards Sasha Reed, who did a video about 5 months ago talking about her printer, which is an inkjet eco tank printer, the same as mine, a different one, but more or less similar to mine. And she talked about paper in it. And I have linked that video down in the description. And I've also linked the paper that I've got. So one of the papers, I went on to Google. Google Gemini is my new friend when I'm looking for stuff, because I'm not very tech minded. So when I need something techy, I go to Google Gemini. And I asked her for a recommendation. And she was saying, look, the best thing to use is photo paper, whether you want a matte or a gloss. And one that's recommended by paper crafters is, and she gave me a list. And first on the list was this one, and it's the Koala double-sided matte photo paper. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. I printed the images up on a glossy photo paper and they came out brilliant, but I didn't want them that shiny. So I thought I'll order this from Amazon, and I had it within, I think, literally the following day, I got this one. So I was chuffed with that. But then I went and watched Sasha's video, and she has links in her video description. And I think the second paper that she recommends is actually this one. So I have a link down below, not only to the Craft World website, which is an affiliate link to all the products, the MTS products are down there. So if you're interested in getting any of the products I'm using today, I would appreciate you click on that link. I'll get a little kickback, costs you nothing extra, helps me to purchase all the lovely things that I share then in my videos and my lives, because I purchase everything. I don't get anything for free. But I've also got the Amazon UK link for the koala paper. Now the one I got is the 230 GSM, which is, for the Americans watching, £62. Now the link I've given you is to the Koala brand, but it gives you all the options of the different weights. So once you click on my Amazon link, it'll bring you to the koala and you can choose whichever weight you want. I know some people won't want as heavy as 230, but I do like it to have a kind of ephemera feel to it. But I am so pleased. So you can see these are the ones I colored. This is how it came out. I haven't tweaked the settings, like I said earlier, for the coloring. So although this has come out more red compared to my pinks, I am so pleased. So I can honestly say I'm going to go ahead using this koala printer paper for printing up any images that I color and scan and want to print up, or just for the vibrancy of printing up some digital images or papers. I know Sam said that there's some of the made to make papers. You can get the digital download if you're a subscriber. So for me, I feel printing on this paper is going to give a much more vibrant and more like what I get in the kits style. So now I've waxed on lyrical about that, but this has been my passion regarding printing images and the whole lot. So I just wanted to share that with you all. So I'm just going to move all this over there. So I have my scoreboard. I'm going to settle in and get more comfortable on my chair. I've got some of my images. I printed up some of the images previously and I have them cut, but I might just fussy cut out. There are dies for these, so I'll either die cut or maybe fussy cut out some of them. But now, I hope I haven't overwhelmed everyone with this. Yeah, Carol was about to ask this question regarding the paper, so I'm delighted that I could actually have a chat with you regarding that, because I have recommended the Navigator inkjet printer previously, because for me I felt that was the best other than using a photographic paper, and some of them are so expensive for either a 20 pack or a 50 pack of sheets. They're, for me, I felt expensive. The koala ones that I got were, I think, 15 euros something. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then with shipping and everything, it came to just over 19 euros for me. But for 100 sheets, I figured that is such a good price. So have a look yourselves. But yeah, I recommend that. And I recommend the koala because that's the matte photographic paper that I've got. But you might have another brand or know another brand that you would like, so you can try that. Good morning, Jan. Jan is in the chat as well. Remember to thumbs up. That's right. If you can give the video, this live, a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. It pushes the algorithm to share my live stream with more people. Anyone that's watching and interested in crafting, YouTube algorithm will push it out. So I do appreciate that. And it does help us smaller crafters to be seen more on YouTube when you simply give videos or lives a thumbs up, or if you share them or even subscribe. Lots of people, I think 64% of the regular viewers to my channel are unsubscribed, and by subscribing to my channel and all the other crafters that are out there, it really does bring more light to our channels and helps us to grow. So I do appreciate everyone who joins me, thumbs up, and who is subscribed. Cara said, as a Prime member, the koala, I presume it's the koala, she said they are $9.99 with free delivery as she is a Prime member. That's lovely to know. So if you're a Prime member and you click on the link, it'll bring you up the relevant prices to where you are and whether you're a Prime member or not. And Lynette said she's just ordered some of the koala paper as well. So that's brilliant. Thank you so much. And I do appreciate if you did click on the link, which is in the description and down in the comment section. I really appreciate that. Okay, so I'm using the exploding box because this is the latest. We will in another week's time get the July collection. I can't wait for that. The peaks that Sam has been given us are very exciting. So this is the explosion box and I have everything die cut out already. I have a video that I've done showing you how I put this together as well as a previous live. Again, they're both listed down below, so I won't go into too much depth about putting this together, but I will show you how I do it. I'm also using the pattern papers from this collection, and it's the Christmas explosion, and I love the kitsch colors in this. And then these are the stamps and dies that I'm using. They're the Christmas at the North Pole, and I've just been using these. There are 2 other sets, but I focused on this because these are what I was doing with my printing and scanning and coloring. I haven't colored in the other sets yet, so I will get to that, but there's loads of time till Christmas, so I've loads of time to do it. Jeanette said the link didn't work for me, takes me to Amazon but asks me to sign in. Oh, well, I'm sorry that has happened, but you know what, you fire away, and if it's not working for you, don't worry about it. It was a link that I got through Amazon Associates, which I'm partnered with. So I don't know why it didn't work for you, but I'm disappointed to hear that, but I'll figure it out after the live. Yeah, Cara said she had to sign in too. Same here, Lynette said. Okay, so yeah, I figure what it does is it gets you to sign in, but it should still work. So yeah, I don't know why it does that now. That's strange. Anyway, Benita said she loves the Santa. Yeah, our Benita loves the oldie worldy Santas compared to the modern one. I think he's very, very cute. Yeah, do love that. So the cards that I have made so far using this collection, this is what the mechanism does. It makes this flat box shape, and when you push it together, the whole thing pops up. But unlike regular box cards, this one has a little flap on the back, and when you push it in, the whole thing will slide flat. So if I push that in and then squeeze it, it's very simple mechanism. Takes you a minute to get the hang of it, but it is a simple mechanism. So when you squeeze it shut, you can see there the whole thing goes back to flat. So this is lovely. I mean, this style of card and other cards that I have gotten and made over the last few years, I do like to bring them out each year. So I have a little area in my sitting room, and previous cards that I have got, you know, that are Christmassy like this, I bring them out and display them like a piece of decor, you know, so yeah, but I think this is lovely. I love this, and this is made using a previous stamp set from the Creative Stamping magazine, and I just had some of these that I had scanned and printed up, so I used those for this one. I've also added a little mechanism. Sam shows us how to do this mechanism in one of her videos. It's a mechanism I love to use if you want something to pop out which is in or on a score line. It's a really handy little thing. I won't be using this in today's card, but you can add this to it if you wanted. So this is the card that I made during the live. You can see when you open your card base, your pop-up box is inside. I have room here to write a message. If you didn't want to do that, you could just put those panels on the back. And then again, when you can see here, my box mechanism is connected to this piece, so it keeps it as part of the card. And again, when this pops up, the whole thing sits up there nicely, and then you have this fun box that's separate but part of your card. And I love this idea. So then my latest card, which was my latest video, is this one. So this is just shy of 6x6. I used an A4 sheet of cardstock to make this, but if you have a 12x12 that you can cut down, you can use that as well to make your 6x6 card base. Again, inside I've used the same idea with having our card inside, and so the whole thing will pop up. And I love the idea of having something like this in a card base. So that's why I wanted to do it like that. And then on the back, I have my little sentiments here. So I can write a sentiment, but I have my images here. And you can see the difference with these. These are using your glossy photo paper. You can see the shine you get on them. But if you wanted a more matte finish, then the matte photo paper is the best to use. So the card style we're going to make today using these is this. It's a gatefold style card. So you have your card base, which hasn't got too much bulk in it. Now I haven't added any of my images yet, but yeah, it'll go in a bouncy envelope. And when the recipient opens the card, the box is in here like so. Now, rather than putting the extended panel like what we've done in this one, and I'll show you in the 8x8. So you can see we have our extending panel here that brings out our box and can swivel. I thought, well, how can we do this but have our box attached similarly to what Sam did, but not have to have the score line? So I thought what I would do is put a little panel, 2 little pieces of cardstock is all you need on the back. Our little box will pop up. Now I've put this in the wrong way round. The panel, this little flap should be to the back, but I used this from my last template card. So it was just to show you, you can see how the box will, you know, turn over and back, but it's still attached to our card base. So you can have your box inside, which will pop up, but you have it in a card base. So this is the style of card that we're going to make today. Now I'll just move everything out of the way and we will have a look at what we need to make it. So I have got myself a piece of cardstock, and all the measurements are down in the description below. Now I did have a piece of paper with all the measurements on it. And you know what? With all my faffing this morning, I don't know what I've done with it, but the measurements are down in the description if you're watching this back. So this piece is 11.5 by 6 inches. And then I have scored it at 2 7/8 and at 8 5/8. Those are our 2 panels. Onto this, we then need some mats and layers. So I have got 4 pieces of pink cardstock, and I have 4 pieces of pattern paper, and these are for the doors of our gatefold. So my matte layer measures 2 5/8 by 5 3/4, and then my pattern paper measures 2 3/8 by 5.5. So I'm going to put the 2 pink ones on the inside, and I'm going to put the 2, I don't know why I have extra here. I was missing one yesterday when I was prepping and I couldn't find it, so I cut another one. That's what happened there. But so the blue ones are going to go on the front, and then inside I have these 4 pieces. So my 2 pink pieces, these measure 5.5 by 5 3/4, and then I have 1 piece of white cardstock and 1 piece of pattern paper, and these measure 5 1/4 by 5.5. Now on one of these panels, so my pink panel and my white panel, this is going to go on the back of the card, and it's going to give me an area to write my message. If you wanted, you could cut some white panels to go on the pattern paper on the inside of your card, and you could have 2 smaller panels, but I like the idea of just having the pattern paper on the inside of the card and writing our message on the back. But one of your pink panels, you will need to do a little cutting. So again, this panel measures 5.5 by 5 3/4. I've put this then into my scoreboard because I felt that that was the easiest way to do it. And I'm going to do that with you here. So I put this into my scoreboard, and I put a little mark at 2 7/8. And then I took my ruler, which is here, and I lined this up beside it. Where are we going? This way. So I'm going to use the score line here at 2 7/8, but I'm going to use my ruler to mark off how far down I want to come. So on this one, I want to come down 2 1/8 inches. Now you can cut this a little bit longer if you need to, but this is what worked more or less for me, because if you look here, where our box is attached, we have little panels here. One side is going to attach to the box and the other to our card base, and I wanted to hide that. So by cutting the slit into our pattern paper and our matte layer, we'll be able to hide that panel. Let me see, I'm just having a little... No worries, Cara. I'll catch you when you're back, or in the you know, you can watch it later. But thank you for joining this morning. Lynette said, I made my second one this morning using the frogs. I'm going to use the Santa set next. Yeah, the frogs in that other set look so good. Hazel said, gorgeous papers. Thank you. I think they're lovely from that set. Alison has joined us. Good morning, Alison, and Amanda, and Tracy. Good morning, Tracy. Amanda's just home now, so she has clicked in and is watching and listening. Alison, morning all, a bit late to see the vampire at the doctor's. Oh, lovely. Yeah, lovely. I have to admit though, our nurse is so lovely, the one that we have since we moved to this house. And do you know, whenever I've given bloods with her, I never feel it, because normally you'll feel a little pinch. It's so minute. It's like she's slipping a bit of silk into the vein. She's so good. Benita is saying welcome and keeping an eye on everyone. Okay, so we have our score line done, and I have gone over this using a pencil just so that you can see the score line better. Now, I would recommend you do this for yourself because it gives you a better idea for when you're cutting. And what we want to do is, I'm not going to cut up the score line. I'm going to come just to the right of the score line and just to the left of the score line. And I'm going to cut the score line out, and that'll give us room for the bulk for our 2 pieces that will go on the back. So I'm going to do that now while I'm here. And I'm just going to cut that out. And if it isn't wide enough, I can always come back and cut another bit off. There we go. So you can literally see the sliver. That is literally the width of the score line is what I've taken off there. Now, when we put our pattern paper on, we'll need to do the same again. So you could glue these 2 together and then cut out your, if you have it facing this way, then you'll see exactly where your score line is and you can cut it away, or you can cut it like what I've done and then go back over and cut away your pattern paper. But that's by the by, either will work for you. So we need to glue those all together. And let's see, I've got all my box mechanism here, die cut out. I've got a piece of cardstock to cut my 2 little pieces out and score. I've got some sentiments here, and I've got the lovely little panels for the box. I've die cut those out, and then I've used the other die to die cut out the little embellishment, and I've just gone with the plain pink for that. So I have those all there. My Merry and my Christmas are from the Big Words stamp and die set. That's where I've got my Merry, the shadow and the word. And then my Christmas is in the Mix and Match Sentiments die set there. And yeah, you get a whole lot of other stamped words that you can use with those too. So that's where I got those from. I will need to stamp a message for my back panel. I don't know if you can see it on there. I very faintly in pencil to remind myself, stamp on me. So I have that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these together so that they can be drying. I'll use my Koala glue. Then I'm going to assemble my box. I have some of my images that I have scanned and colored with one of my markers in here. I may just fussy cut out some of these as well to embellish. And yeah, I think that is everything short of assembling the box. So we'll do that now in a minute. I think the only pieces I didn't give you a measurement for is the little tabs for the back of our box. And they are basically 2 inches by 2 inches scored at 1 inch. And you want 2 of those. So I'll cut those up now in a minute. First of all, I'm going to grab my fabulous Koala glue, which is it's a stronger glue than your white glue, and when it dries really rock hard. I think it's very similar to the Beacon 3-in-1 over in America, but Koala is pretty easy to get if you're in Europe. I know that much anyway. So I'm going to pop that down here and glue them together. And what I'm going to do is just keep an eye on the chat as well. So let's see. Jeanette's going to try scanning those papers to print some more. Oh yeah. I think the angel policy on the printed papers that we get, the paper packs, is that you can print them up, scan them and print them up if you're for your own use. I know some angel policies is you can make up to 200 cards for sale, but nothing past that. So if you're unsure, just check the angel policy from the company you've purchased your papers with. I don't sell my cards, So I have no problem with printing and, you know, scanning and printing up. Emma has joined us as well. Good morning, Emma. Jeanette said that's a nice pink card base. Oh, the pink base for the card. Yeah, the papers I'm using are the little. I had to stop there and think. Do you know when your mind is doing 90 miles an hour and you're talking and breathing at the same time? It could be very hard. Yeah, this is the little cardstock, the pink cardstock that I'm using. Now, this is the OG, the original little cardstock from about 4 years ago. I know that Little brought out more of the cardstock, I think in the last year. And I don't think the reviews for that cardstock was very good at all. The quality was not there. The vibrancy wasn't there. I don't think people were very pleased with it. But when I purchased it, I went around to a number of my local Lidls and I purchased 45 packs of the little cardstock, which for me was great. I went to 3 different Lidls to get my cardstock, and at the time they had loads in stock. So I wasn't like taking everything off the shelves and giving no one else a chance. I did leave lots of packs for other people, but I knew I liked it and the price point was really good, so I bought so many. And I was only saying to Benita the other day, how many did I say I'd left, Benita? Can you remember? I've like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I've 19. I've 19 pads of that still left. And this is the only cardstock, coloured cardstock that I use, is that little coloured cardstock. So, and I've been using it for a good few years, so it just goes to show you. Yeah, but I find it really good. I like the quality. I think it's 270 or 280 GSM. So it's really nice and it's great for making card bases. But I don't know if I could recommend the recent, oh, I put the glue on the wrong. Now, that's the wrong panel. This is the right panel, I think. Or is this cut wrong? Oh, holy moly. Do you know what? I'm just going to leave that over there. One of these is not right. Which one is it? Ah, this one isn't cut right. I need to cut it down. I'll leave that dry so for a little longer. This is the same. Right, so I'll colour this in. When I was prepping the card, I was prepping this with a number of other crafty friends. We were video chatting. I do a lovely video call on a Tuesday morning with several crafty friends, and we craft and prep together. And sometimes I get a little distracted. And I was working out a lot of numbers yesterday for this card. And so, yeah, I was quite distracted, but no worries. Nothing our little guillotine won't sort out. Lynn asks, Simone, when you make your images on the photo paper, is it thick enough to use on their own, or do you have to stick them on card? Well, the photo paper that I have ordered, that I have got from Amazon, is the it's 230 GSM. So it's lovely and thick, you know, it's a lovely and thick paper. I like the images to be more like ephemera, especially if I'm sticking them onto things. And you know, if you're just stamping onto your cardstock, and you know, if you're stamping on your card base and colouring in, that's fair enough. I have 160 I think really the lightest, I don't like using like computer paper light, like 80 GSM. I think that's too flimsy. I like a thicker cardstock. So I think it's really down to personal preference, how heavy you like your cardstock. Personally, if I'm stamping and scanning images and I want them cut out, die cut out, or fussy cut out as freestanding images that I'm going to stick on something, I like them to be a little bit heavier. I would be more along the lines of 230. So really it's up to yourself. This is 2 3/8. 2 3/8, right? I'll bring up the old guillotine and trim that down to 2 3/8. I'll just cut that there. And hope we've got it right. I do apologize for the loudness of that. It's right next to the mic. The joys of streaming live. Okay, how are we doing there? That's much better. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. And I'll glue that into place. Caroline has joined us. Good morning, Caroline, dependent on where you are. I think you're in the UK, aren't you, Caroline? You can open up your own shop. 45 packs, oh my God. Yeah. Do you know what? At the time, because I was with hubby and I was like, oh, I'll buy 10. And I kind of thought I was being extravagant at the time. And Mike is very much, he'll see an offer for something, buy 2 get 1 free, or reduced down in price by 50 cents or whatever it is. He'd be like, oh, we'll buy a couple. He used to be very much like that. So at the time he was like, well, you know, you're going to be paper crafting. So, and we were lucky we were in a position that we could purchase that amount. So his thing was, but sure, we might as well buy a few, you know. And I was like, well, I didn't want to be buying too many all from the one place. So that day, we literally, there's 2 in I'm in between 2 big towns. So in one town, there's 2 littles. And in the other town, there's 1 littles. So between those 2 towns, I was able to go to the 3 different littles and get what I wanted. So I was very pleased. Now, I'm going to quickly stick these onto my card base, but I'm not going to stick this panel in or my back panel until I've this stamped. And this one because I need to do my cutting on the back. But I'm going to stick my doors on. So the pink ones are going to be inside because we have our blue panel going in here. And then the blue ones will be on the outside. So I'm going to stick my blue ones on first, and then I'll do my inside ones. And you might be able to see there on my card base, I have a scored line, but I didn't need it. I scored my card base instead of my panel when I was prepping it, and I thought, right, I'm not going cutting another one just for a score line. You won't see that because my panels will be on the front and back. So if you can see it, and I don't know if you can, just ignore it. Let's see. Tracy Ann is set in the conservatory, rocking in our new rocker recliner chairs, looking out at the lovely garden flowers. Well, isn't that just lovely, huh? Absolutely lovely. I'd love to put a conservatory on off our sitting room here. And it may be something we do in the future, but I want to have it as like a reading room kind of a thing. Hubby likes to watch TV in the evening, maybe game on the Switch, whereas I prefer to sit and chill, and we'll say either watch YouTube videos or read. I'm a great reader. So I love reading, and they're mostly fictional. I'm not sitting there swatting up with my reading. I'm not that good, but I do enjoy reading for pleasure. And yeah, so I just have this thing in my head of having a lovely conservatory with a proper roof on it, but having one side of the roof with like Velux windows or glass window panels, and having two nice couches in it, so you can sit and have a conversation with someone or sit and chill out and read. And then the sitting room then, which would become a little bit darker, that would be a good area then for watching movies or, like I said, gaming, things like that. So I'm hoping maybe in the next couple of years we might do that, all going well. I also have one of our bedrooms here is converted into my craft room, and I would like to put this back into a bedroom and have a she shed in the garden, because we have a large size garden. The only thing is, hubby was saying to me, but what about when the weather is crap, which it is most of the time here in Ireland? You'd be running up and down to your craft space in the rain. So I'm like, huh, yeah, mm, mm. But I think it's what we will do as the families expand, do you know? Now I have my card base done. I am going to cut my panel on the back here, and then I know that is done. So I'm just going to follow the cut line that I have done already, and that will do that. It's very easy now to cut out my pattern paper, and I'll just nip that out the top there. You can see there now I have my slit, and the slit is on this side. And again, like I said, if I need to open that up more, I can. So that'll sit in there, but we have to put our two panels in. So again, I'm going to need some cardstock. I'm nearly sure that's what that panel was for, and I never got around to it. So I'll bring out my guillotine again, and I'll try not to be too loud. Yeah, that's 2 inches. So we need to cut this at 2. And again at 2. And you can have these any size you like. I just figured that would give me plenty of glue room there to, you know, stick my box card onto. So for this, again, I need my scoreboard, so I'll pop those down there. I need more table space. I have a little unit here that I throw things to on the side, and then my bin is beside that, so when I take in stuff off the unit, I put it on top of the bin. Okay, so I'm going to score this down the middle and this one down the middle, and I'm going to fold these and burnish them, and I'm going to fold them both ways because we want our box to be able to swivel. And I'm going to do that again on this side. Oh, Deb is off. No worries, Deb. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much. Tracy Ann is chilling and watching. Get him to build you a tunnel, Hazel said. Well, I mean, 'tis a long way from the house to the bottom of the garden, so it'd be a long tunnel. So I don't know about that. Right, I'm going to erase the little reminder that I have here for myself off that. And I'm going to leave that separate over beside my VersaFine Clear ink. I'm going to pop those two there and leave them up. Next, we are going to assemble our box. So I have my Merry Christmas, and I was thinking of having my Merry and Christmas on there. Now, this might be too big. So what I may do is put Merry and Christmas that way. Merry Christmas that way. What do we think? I think that'll be fine. Or I may use the Merry and stamp a smaller Christmas. Or I could stamp the Merry and have the bigger Christmas. We have options. We have loads of time. I'm not even on an hour yet. I actually like the idea of stamping the Merry and having the Christmas there, but we'll see. We have options, and it's always good to have options. Okay, so we need to do our box. So this is our box. And do you know what I didn't do? I didn't cut out my panels. And I put them, oh, I was about to freak out. Oh no, I put them on the wrong side. It goes that way, Simone. Get it right, because I'll stick it down wrong. There we go. Do make allowances. I'm blonde. I'm actually blonde. Yeah, so I think there, that looks better. I thought it looked a bit, So yeah, okay, so I think we'll go with that, and we need to stamp our Merry. And I can do that when I'm stamping my sentiment for my back panel. I will need to cut out some more of the panels for my box. I forgot to do that. Yeah, so we can do that. But what I'm going to do is assemble my box. I did like that, have a whole lot of fun this Christmas. I do like that sentiment. I think it's very good. Now, you can put your arch in, and it gives you room to put images and things on, or you can do without. It really is up to yourself. I've tended to use the arch just so it gives me more. So I'm going to see how I got on and whether I need to do that. So I shall do that later. Right, so with our box, you have 4 mechanism pieces. Now, yesterday with my crafty friends, we looked at this center panel that goes in the box. And this one is, it's a little hard to get it right centered. If you want this centered right here, it's a little bit hard to get that centered in. So you may find when you put it in, it's a little bit to this side or to that side. If it is, don't worry. It still works really, really well. So the first thing I'm going to do, and what I've already done, is the score lines on all these pieces. I went over them using my scoreboard, just because it gives you, it folds better. I find you don't get cracking. That's what I'm trying to say. So I have those folded, those folded. Now, if you've watched my other 2 videos, I do write on this panel, press flat to fold. I think that's what I put on it. What was it I put on it? Let me just see. I put press down to fold flat, and that's what I'm going to do on this one. I'm just writing it on, press flat. Oh no, it's press down. I'll just put press flat to fold. It's just to give the recipient an idea of what they need to do, because when you look at this piece and it's popped up, it's very, is it very hard? I don't think it's very hard, but for a non-creative person, they may struggle. So I just think to give them an idea of what they need to do, that they have to press that, you know, to make it fold. For me, like, generally I will give something like this to my mother-in-law or to my father-in-law, who's an engineer, and see how quickly they figure it out. And I kind of go from there. It's a good idea. Sometimes the father-in-law will figure it out quicker than the mother-in-law, but it just, because we look at stuff as crafters and it clicks for us, but for other people it doesn't. Like, I can't tell you the amount of people I've given an easel card to, and they haven't folded it and set it down. They've literally put it back the way it comes in the envelope and tried to stand it up that way. So for that reason, I do try to make it a little easier. So now we have our two pieces, and you can see when you die cut them out, you can see which is the back and which is the front. So I generally push this through. This is the back of this, and this is the back of this, and it'll push through like that, and then when you press that down, it will then pop underneath your panel there and slide out. So that's how that mechanism works, how it locks in place. So in order to make this piece, once you have your box burnished, which I shall do now on this piece. Oh, there's Dawn. Morning, Dawn. What happened to Jeanette? Oh dear, Jeanette's friend slipped on the path to her she shed. Oh, I hope she was all right. Yeah, I'd make sure I have pavers and that they're, you know, ones I wouldn't slip on. Or I could just build it next to hubby's workshop, and I could just dash out one side and up and around. Or build a shed for visitors to stay in. We have a casita at my daughter's, so we can stay there. It's a lovely idea, Amanda. Do you know, when you have visitors and you know they're rowdy visitors, we'll put them up there, keep them out of the way. That's a good idea. Right, so when you're adding your pieces inside, your box will close together like so, and this generally will become the back of the box. So if you turn it towards you, these are the two corners that these two pieces will sit into. So this one will sit in there and it will get glued in. This piece sits down on the table. My box is down on the table, and I'll glue those in like that. But this piece, you want the top of this with the top of this side of the box. Now, I have taken my scissors and cut a little wedge out of this piece, just so it sits in better. So what you need to focus on is that this piece is in at the middle of the slot. So whether you cut off your top and bottom like I've done here or not, I haven't done it on the other ones, so you don't have to do it. That's how this piece needs to sit in. So when you're gluing this piece into this corner like so, you need to ensure that your panel is in the middle there, that sliding, locking panel. So I'm going to glue this one in. I'm going to use my Sweet Petunia glue press. I call it my Misty glue press, but apparently that's not the right name for it. The Misty is the stamping platform. But I'm using my glue gun, and I have the tonic glue in here, which comes with the glue press. And I'm going to pop that in here, sitting on the desk, and I'm going to pop that up to the corner. So the bottom is in line with the bottom of our box, and I'm going to press that in there, and I'm just making sure it's all lined up nice and straight. That's the great thing about glue, it gives you a wiggle room. It's into the corner there, and I'll add a bit of pressure. That's one in. Now this one, we're going to put some glue here, and I'm going to put that into the opposite corner. And like I said, I'm going to pop it through my slot. I'm going to make sure it's centered and straight, and then I'll glue it on. So I'm going to pop this in here. Now you can lie it all flat. I'm going to move this up. I'm going to bring this over so it lines up with my score line there. And then I'm going to close it down. And you can see there the top of this curve here is just up with the top of the box. And that's sitting in there nice and straight, one score line to the other. My fold is in, and that's how it'll lock into place, just like that. And then when you want to fold it, press flat and then pull it out, and it'll slide out like so. So that's that one. Now to put in the other one, and I don't know what it is, but I have a habit of putting these two in first. Then I tend to do this one. So again, we want the back sides facing us. This piece will lock in here. You can either lock it in so it comes through the front, or lock it in so it comes through the back. And I tend to lock it in so it's coming through the back, because we want to stick things on this. So the guiding thing that Sam has told us is where the curved edges are here. You want them just to line up with the straight edge of this piece here. You want to put glue on these and pop them in. Now Sam's thing is, this slot, as far as I know, this edge needs to line up with the score line in there. So if you line the edge of this slot with your score line here in the middle, make sure your piece comes down and lines up with the bottom of your card. And you could actually, if you struggle to see where your score line is, like I am, put a little line along it. Sure, no one's going to see it. Now I can see where my score line is. Shall I zoom in so you can see? Is that better? See where I have done my pencil line. So if you bring that up there, and that way when this pops open, it should be more or less centered in there. Now I can't guarantee whether it will or not. To be honest, I've tried this a few times with a few people and it's a bit hit and miss, but we can glue this one in and then we can feed that one through, put it where we want it to go, and then glue this one down. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll actually leave it zoomed in. I hope you can see all right with that zoomed in, but I think it's better for you to see there what I'm doing. So I'm adding my liquid glue onto my tab. The glue on the tab will face down to the front of the card. I'm going to line up the bottom here with the bottom of my card, and I'm looking at my pencil line there, and I'm lining that up with the edge of this piece. I think that's the edge Sam was on about. Sure, I'll have a look now and see. And we'll put that down there. Now, if you want, take your eraser. Where's my eraser? You can now rub off your pencil line. No one will ever know. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue now to this. Yeah, so I did give a brief hello there to Dawn. Hello, Dawn. I hope you are well and better. I know you broke your knee last time we were chatting, so you're recovering from that. You had a hospital appointment this morning, and I think it ran a little late, did it? I love your card so far. Dawn said it looks fab. Thank you, Dawn. So I'm putting this through my slot. I'm going to line up the curved edges here with my slot. I'm also going to make sure that this little tab is in the middle here as well. And sure, look, I'm going to just press it down and we'll live in hope. We may die in despair, but I'm going to live in hope. It can't be any worse. than what it's been for other ones. Not that it's bad, it's just I find this hard. Being honest, I know I'm brand ambassador for MTS, but I like to keep it honest and keep it real. The products I get, I pay for them, so I feel I give you an unbiased view. Anyway, so when this locks in and this panel locks in, and then this locks in over here, Ara, sure, look at that. That is more in the middle than I've ever gotten this in my other 3 makes. Well, 3, 4 if you consider my template one. But yeah, that works. So there you go, folks. If you want to line that panel up, I recommend do what I just did there. Now I'm going to come back to the table and me. Hello again. And yeah, I'm very pleased with that. That is brilliant. Now, if you want to put your arch in, which you can do now or later, your arch will glue in to this. So this panel here is what your arch sticks down on. And if you can have your arch as tall up as you want or as low down as you want. But if your card base is 6 inches, then you don't want your archway to come up any more than 6 inches. So if that's 6 inches there, and I like to have mine a little bit lower, do you know? So your arch will need to be more or less down at the bottom. So I'm going to add some liquid adhesive onto this. And I'm going to add it onto, I think this Tonic Studios, I'm nearly out of it. Let's see if we pop the pin in there again. Might have closed up. I really find that this little nozzle can get blocked very quickly. If I could get it in the hole, that would be an advantage. I'm as blind as a bat. These glasses get pared down 95% and they still leave dents in my nose. They're that heavy. I'm blind. Not literally, but you know what I mean. I've very poor vision. Thumbs up, please. Thanks, Benita. Golf trolley. Then you can get there quicker. Hazel, I love that idea. A little golf trolley to bring me up and down to my she shed. Fabulous. Sam could do it, one of those too. Good idea, says Amanda. Oh, Carmen is there as well. Hello, Carmen. Welcome. Dawn is doing much better. She had an x-ray of the knee this morning and it's healing great. It's almost healed. And that I'm delighted to hear that. I like my bit to be central, Jeanette says. Well, I like my bit to be central too, but you know, we can like what we like and we get what we get. So yeah, I think that's a little bit. Yeah, I think I need to top up. I wonder, can I mix my glues? Can I add my, this is so frustrating. I wonder, can I add like my other white glues into this? I'm going to have to do one in that and one in this. I've loads of other glues, but you know when you don't use them very often, they don't tend to work. Okay, so I'm going to stick this down. I'm going to pop that one down there. And I'm going to try and make sure that the bottom is about the same. And you can see there, this is sticking on to this panel. Let me zoom in again to show you. This arch is stuck onto this panel. So you can always turn it around then and see if it needs to be glued on. But that will do nicely, donkey. Right, so we need to stick this, and I'm going to go back to me in the table. So this piece needs to be glued on here. And again, I'm going to see, will this, let me just pop this out. There we go. That's working nicely now. Right, and we shall pop that down and glue that together. Now what I like to do is I like to flatten it down, simple as that, and then add a bit of pressure on them. And I know then the whole thing is going to go flat because I don't want to glue my box together and find it's warped or wibbly or whatever. I think I have that the right way up, don't I? Isn't your tonic glue supposed to sit up that way in the glue press? I think so. Or is it meant to be the other way? Is it meant to be that way? Does anyone have this? And what do they recommend? Which way up should that bottle be? I don't know. Okay. So now what I want to do next is I want to add my panels here. And we've got to remember that these are going to go on here and then it's going to slide through here like so, right? So I would recommend doing a tester with them. I'm going to glue mine onto the bottom here. The two of them will get glued on like that. Oh, and Simone made an error. Simone made a real, did I make, yeah, I should have left my pattern paper off. Is that what I did with the other one? It is. Yeah. Oh, well, this is live crafting. Oh no, I did it right. Oh, I was like, what? I did it right. Yeah. So our two panels will go in there and they'll spread open and stick to the back of our card base. And then the two in here will glue onto our box, just like that. So what we need to do is make sure that when this is on here and this sits down, that this is gonna sit like so. So let me take this out, and this is why I do it for you. Okay, so this will go like this, and these will go here like so, and then, yeah. So I need to make my little slot a little bit bigger, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut another little bit, literally just a sliver off. And I need to cut up a little bit higher as well. So this is what you'll need to do yourself, is to judge how high up. The measurement I give you is just an estimate, you know, because everyone crafts a little bit differently. So if that piece goes down like this, and this will then sit like so. And then our box, this is the back, will sit on there. And I like to bring my box down to the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my two little pieces in here like this. And they both sit in there nicely. And I'm going to glue them down to my panel and my panel at the same time. So they'll sit flat like that. You can add a bit of glue to the back here as well if you like. So we'll glue that there and that there, like so. And now I'm going to add some glue to my panel and I'm going to pop that into place. Now you could either put them onto the back of the box first if you like, but I think this would be the best way to do it myself. But my tutorial really is to let you see what I'm doing, and you can do whatever works best for you. So now we have that there. I'm gonna pop that into place. And I'm watching my borders. I want them to be more or less the same. And these still open and close. And we'll let that dry. And I'm going to take a little crafty peg. I don't think that one will work, but I have one of these, and I'm just going to pop that down there across the bottom, so I know my two little pieces are going to glue into place there. Then we want to put this onto this, and then I'll put my pattern paper on over the tabs, and it'll hide the tabs. So what I need to do is die cut out my panels for my box, because you know we're live crafting here and I forgot to do that. So, and these panels go down again. I've scored these little flaps. They'll sit on our box here. Now you have a short and a long. The short goes to the front, the long goes to the back. That's to allow for this mechanism in here. And I'll just show you quickly there. Look, the short sits on one side and the long sits on the other. So don't go doing it this way. It won't work. It needs to go that way. And then the shorter one goes over here on this one there, like so. Lovely. Okay, so I am going to cut my panels. So we need our die cutting machine, and we need our dies. We need some of our cardstock. Now you could do mats and layers on the front there, but I think, which do I want to do? What do you think, guys? Should I just do plain pink, or should I do the pattern paper as well? Let me know what you think. Just the matte layer or the pattern paper as well? And which one should I go for? The pink or the blue? Because, you know, we need to know these things. Okay, so I need this and this. Tis a good job I'm not doing colouring today, or we'd be here till 1 o'clock, and Sam is live at 2, so that wouldn't do. Okay, so I have some of these pattern papers left over here, and I have some of the pink cardstock left over here. So we just need our dies. Now, how I managed to forget that, let me have a look. Oh, at, well done, Simone, Carol said. Bravo. Spot on, it's good. That's what I do, Simone, as white on white is hard. Yeah, Jeanette. Oh, Carmen has only stayed for a little while. She has to go now. Her eldest son received the key to his new home. Oh, well, where, and congratulations. That's lovely. Absolutely lovely. It's harder and harder these days for young people to get their own place. So we need those dies for our mats and layers. And I'll put those back over there. And 33 watching and 33 thumbs up we had. Oh, brilliant. Pink embossed, Carol says. Carol, that was not an option. That was not an option. I am not embossing. No. You're hilarious. I think we might do the pink paper. So unless anyone else has a different idea, let me know. Pink embossed, 30, pink, 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 pink. You make me giggle every time you talk to Donkey. Tammy says, well done, Donkey. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to find the small ones from the big ones. That's a small one. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a small one. So those are the 4. I'm definitely going to put a pink layer, but whether I put pink pattern paper or blue pattern paper, can you let me know? Put pink PP for pink pattern paper, or put blue. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm going to grab this now and start cutting so I can cut some of this down. I think I'll need a couple of strips. Pink pattern, Tracy said. Girl after my own heart. Tracy, you can come again. PP, pink patterns, PPP, PP. No, I don't need to PP. Right, so I think the pink snowflake paper on our pink cardstock has won. And as you can see, I'm wearing matching pink to go with our cardstock, our little cardstock. You wouldn't know that was my favorite color, would you? Yeah, it is one of my favorites, even though my craft room is in green. And I'm sorry for the rocking on the table. Lovely. So that's 3 of our panels done. We just need one more. Lovely. One more panel. So are any of ye crafting, or have ye crafty plans for today? Benita's going, no! I can hear you, Benita. Not pink! Yeah, if Benita had her way, it'd be purple and orange, wouldn't it, Benita? So funny. Yeah. Oh, there's Ghost. What's he barking at? Nothing. There's no one at the front door. Grand. I have a camera just up there where my lights are, keeping an eye on things because he gets a notion. He'd bark at a butterfly farting. Like, no joke. What are you giving out about, buddy? Huh? What are you giving out about? I'm busy. I know. And unfortunately, you are so big, I can't do a Sam and pick you up and show everyone. Sure I can't. No, I can't. Ghost, for those of you who don't know, is my golden retriever. He's got a bit of Springer in there as well. So there's a bit of Nutter in there. Yeah, but we love him so much. Will I get 4 out of this one? Murphy's Law, I won't. No, I won't. So I might put them in that way so I can be sure they don't move too much when I put this through my die cut machine. Okay, and then we have 1 left to do. So tell me, guys, do you like watching a live, or do you prefer a video format where you can just go on, watch it, and watch a video that's maybe 15 minutes long, or in my case, 20 to 30 minutes long? I like to leave in all the important stuff. Which is your preferred thing? Watching videos or watching lives? I love a live for the company and the chat, both doing and watching. Sometimes I like a video when I want to quickly, you know, get to the meat and bones of it. That's why I tend to put my measurements in the description for people, so I know that if they've watched a live but they want to come back and get the measurements, they don't have to re-watch the live and click through. It's just a courtesy I do, you know. I like to have the measurements there. Would I prefer you go and watch the video or the live again in order to get the views? Well, I mean, you know, that's a YouTube creator's That's what we like. But no, I like to put the measurements in the description for you if you're coming back and you just want measurements handy to have. But yeah, I do like if I'm crafting on my own, which isn't often because I'm usually crafting with Benita or Avril. Yeah. Lives are fun, Dawn says, because you can chat and watch. Yeah, I like that. And you get to chat with the other crafters in the comment section too, which is what I love. And you get the bit of gossip and you get the bit of chat and, you know, that's all lovely. Okay, so there's the dies for that. And I'm going to carefully throw them in there so they don't get lost. I'll glue these down using my Koala. Hillary said, I like both, but some presenters drive me mad. Not you and Sam, obviously. Well, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be here, but thank you so much. Yeah, I have to admit, there's some crafters who I think are really, really good, but you might struggle to listen to. I can't say there's very many, but there are one or two that I kind of struggle to listen to. It's just the accent, do you know? If they have a strong accent and it's hard to understand what they're saying, I find that a little bit hard. But I do like watching a live. I'm happy with either or either, really. I don't know if anyone has a preference, you know, oh, I don't like watching lives, I find them too long. Yeah, I don't think most crafters, and a lot of us are crafting on our own in our craft rooms. So it's nice to have what sounds like a conversationalist video, I think, for me, in the background, because I kind of feel like, you know, I'm not alone, which sounds really sad, but a lot of us are in our craft room and we're on our own. That's why I started my Tuesday morning crafty group. And if I could have 40 people on there, I would. But to do that, I'd need to use a platform, and that's expensive. Zoom will do it, but you'll only get 45 minutes or an hour. And let's be honest, guys, I couldn't do it in that short time. With my crafty ladies on Messenger, we're normally crafting from 10 until 1 o'clock. Now, I am noticing that oh, there we go. I thought it was frozen, but I've got that spinny widget going on. Let me know, are we frozen? Let's see. Sometimes people's voices are as well subtitled. That's so funny, Hazel. I love watching lives, Liz said, even if after it's finished or when chatting beside me. I don't know what the WFH. Benita said, I'm okay, I'm not frozen, so it's just my internet then is doing a whizzy. Oh, that's so annoying. Let me just check to see. Do you know, I'm on my main internet. That is so annoying. Not frozen, not frozen. All good, all good. Well, as long as I'm streaming, okay, I am happy. And the comments are coming up, so I'm happy. That is a streamer's nightmare, let me tell you. Streaming a video live and thinking that you're frozen, that is such a streamer's nightmare. I wouldn't mind. I have 5G internet here. So the fact that, and it looks awful. Look till I show you. Look, This is what it's doing at the moment. And I don't know if you can see, but the screen is a little bit blurred as well. I am not impressed. But my comments are feeding through okay. And I don't want to change anything because I don't want it to affect the stream. So, oh, WFH, working from home. Thanks for that. Emma, I'm a little slow when it comes to stuff like that. It was like that for me last night. Beneath, yeah, I remember you saying you thought it was frozen, and I was telling you it's not frozen. I wonder is the weather. I don't know what it is because there's no one else in the house. It's 5G Wi-Fi. It's such a pain. And I've actually come out and come back in. So I don't know. Anyway, as long as it's all good for you guys, I'm happy. There we go. Right, I'm going to give over my blathering on. So I'm going to attach my panels and these panels, and then I'm going to attach it to the inside of the box because it's 12 o'clock now here. And we've been on an hour and a half, so I really need to get my finger out. I kind of feel an hour and a half to 2 hours is a nice length of time for a live. Now, I could actually fold this flat and it'll make it a whole lot easier. Look at that. Up there for thinking and down there for dancing. Isn't that what they say? Right, we'll pop this on here. And we'll pop these on here. And Emma says, I love watching lives. I don't feel so lonely then when I'm crafting. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like the company as well, watching a live. And generally when I watch a live, myself and Benita, we, again, video chat with each other on Messenger. So the two of us are chatting away, watching the live together. I'll wear headphones, she wears headphones. So the live that we're watching, we're hearing through the headphones, but we can hear each other talking. And yeah, that's so fun. When you're popping these ones into your box, you need to glue the underside. Don't make the mistake of gluing across the top. Let's see now. So glue underneath and then slide them into place. And I'm just going to make sure that goes in there nicely. And you want to bring it right down to the end here so that the flaps are grand there. And again, you can just add a bit of pressure or stick a peg on them or whatever. And I'll do this one. I'm going to bring this down closer to me so I can sit that in there. I'm sliding off my chair. Anyone else like that? I tend to sit at the edge of my chair. It's such a bad habit. Now, make sure you don't get caught up on your mechanism. I'm going to just zoom that in there. Did I zoom? Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, I was zoomed in. I was looking here and not seeing it. Okay, so when you zoom in, you'll see that I'm watching this little mechanism piece here that's over in the corner. Be very careful that you don't stick onto that. It needs to be set just in there behind it into the corner. So yeah. And then you want to make sure that your two flaps here aren't overlapping. And that's why I bring them right over to there and right over. It's a little thing, but the first time I did it, those were kind of catching on each other and it annoyed me. So yeah, there we go, back out again. So that's the front of our box done. What we want to do now is sit our, and I can take this little peg off now. We want to sit our box in here. Let me see if I can show you. So we have these little pieces here. We want to sit our box in there. And I like to bring mine down level with the base of the card. That way, if there's any weight in our box, if we have this up, the weight of that might pull down on our card and it mightn't sit right. So I'm going to bring mine down to the bottom. So I'm going to add some glue on these. And again, you can use your quick grab or your Koala. I'm going to use my quick grab glue onto this, and then I'm going to sit my box in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, might just flatten it down to make sure it sits in there nicely. So we'll add some glue, and then these will be reinforced because we'll put these panels on the back. So I'm going to sit that in there and make sure that this is level. I'm going to bring it up just like a smidge from the very bottom. And I'm going to make sure that that score line, I'll zoom in again. So I'm ensuring that the score line on my box is set right in against those two. See that one there and that one there? I want to make sure it's set right down into that. Add a bit of pressure behind. And now once we have that done, we can then go ahead and add our panels to the back. And I'm going to use my Koala for this because I know once that dries, it'll be nice and strong, but you can use whatever you have on your craft room table. So I'm going to turn this to the side there, and I'm just going to line it up to what I've got going on the front. That looks about right. And then I'm going to press it down from the inside. See in there, you can press it down, make sure your panel is on nicely. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. Hilary says, this is my new favorite of your twists on this mechanism. I have to say it's my favorite too. If you're happy to have it in a gatefold, I think this is the way to do it. But if you want it in just a regular card base, then the other way that I show you is good too. But I think going forward, this is probably how I will make mine. So now once you've that done, we can always press down on our mechanism and close our card, and then we can press down on that there, and I will bring you back to me. There we go. Hello again. And now you can see how that fits in there. Lovely. Look at that. And the whole thing will pop up, but just to give it a bit of pressure there for those back panels, how neat and tidy is that? So if you want to do this on just a card base like what Sam did with the score line down the middle, you can do it that way. But if you want to do it this way, you can do it as a gatefold. Now, is there bulk in there? Yes, there is. Look, we have a bit of bulk in there, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot. Now, if you go adding foam to these, it's going to bring the bulk out. The same if we put our sentiment here on the corner, because we'd have to put another little twist on it, like what I've done here. See with this one, this allows it to pop up, that little mechanism that is in there. Do you see it in there? That folds flat and pops up and allows for this to then pop up. But again, it's more bulk on the front of the card. It's more bulk for the gatefolds. So it's really up to yourself. I don't think it makes much of a difference, to be honest. But, you know, you do you. As myself and Benita like to say. And I've caught up with myself there now as well. So that's great. Sweat is off. Emma says, nice idea. Jill is with us. Hi, Jill. She said, a bit late, but hello, Simone and everyone. Hello to you, Jill. Welcome. Zoomed. Okay, right. Okay, so we've that done. What do I need to do now? I need to decide, am I putting Christmas there? And I think once that is popped out, we could put Christmas here. Oh, I think I like the Christmas there, guys. I think I like the Christmas on this. I'm going to go with that. What do we think? Christmas on the arch and all our little images dotted around. I like that. Christmas. I like that. And what I might do is put the Merry, but I'll stamp the Merry and put Merry Christmas. Everyone would be nice here, but I don't have that. Yeah, but I think I'll put, because when that, do I want to put Merry on it now as well? Oh, I could put Christmas down there. Oh, options. Options are a bitch. Yeah, because, yeah, I do like, because it's going to, I think it'll get lost. And this is popped out. The Christmas is behind there. It's going to get lost. Yeah, I think we either need the Merry Christmas there, which I'm not a fan of, I have to be honest. It is very windy outside. I'm just looking up at my monitor for the cameras outside. It's very windy, and I think that is what's making his lordship bark, because I don't see anyone. Ghost! Yeah, so what do we think? Shall we put the Christmas there? I do like the Christmas there, but I'm going to have to put Merry or Happy somewhere, because you can't just have Christmas. And I don't want to put Christmas. I suppose we could go Merry up here and Christmas down here. What do we think? Okay, two options. Merry on top, Christmas on the bottom. Jeanette, snap. That's what I think. Yeah, I think Merry on the top and Christmas on the bottom. Making a little didgeridoo for that is no big deal at all. I'll whiz one of those out. Are we all Merry on the arch? Benita said. Wishes, Hazel said. Yeah. Christmas wishes. Wishes, Marie says. Bit further over with the Merry on the arch. Yeah, I'll pop it there somewhere. Merry on the belly band and Christmas on the arch. Yeah, no, I'm liking this, guys. I'm liking this, I think. Yeah, Jeanette loves that. And I think so does Benita. 36 of you watching. Benita says, yes, great like that. Okay, right, I'm gonna go with like that. Now, because we have a lot of bulk down here, it will allow me to pop my Merry up here, pop it up on some foam, and that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna have to be very careful that my M doesn't pop out of my card base. So I think I'll put a little bit of foam there and there and pop my Merry up. So I've got some foam. I'm going to do a little bit of that now. I'll cut that and stick that down. We've still got some stamping to do, folks. Right. I want my Merry over here. So that's going to go there like that. And then I need another little piece. I think that might be a bit long, so I'll cut a bit of that off. Throw that in the bin. And we'll pop that over there. Yeah, that should work like that. Yes, okay. And I'll pop a little bit of liquid adhesive onto the top of that, just for a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm going to pull it down a little bit closer to me so I can make sure I get it wonky, because that's what we want. But I want my oar to be there. Right, I'm going to go there. All right, committed. That's what I need to be. Right, a piece of, I think, do I have a lighter weight? Okay, I've got a piece of cardstock and we want our Christmas to be in the middle. So I don't want this too wide. We'll bring up our little trimmer. I'll bring in the small one for this. So I think a piece about 1 inch wide should do. We shouldn't need it much more than that. Wonder will this bit should work. Maybe I'll go 1.25 inches. Can always cut it down later. Right. Now, so we want this to be 3 inches. Do we want 3 inches? 1 inch, I think less. I think 2, because we've a half and a half is 1. And then 1. I think we need 3 inches, yeah. Let's see, we'll pull out the scoreboard and see how that works. I think I need to get myself a smaller scoreboard for when I'm pulling out little things like this. Okay, so let's see. I think that should be hidden behind there. Really, we should have done this before we put our panels on, but look, I'm not going to sweat the small stuff. This is why I do this for ye. Okay, so let's have a look. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. That will sit on there. And then our Christmas will sit on top. Now I think it's a little bit tall, so I'm going to trim it down. And I'm going to go with the 1 inch, I think. We'll see how that looks. Still a little bit big. We'll cut off a smidge more. Okay. I call these my little frog's legs because that's what they look like, little frog's legs, look. So this will go down here like so, and these tabs will straddle the score line there. So if that is down there like that, and then this will be over the top, I think that just hides it. So that should be perfect. Right, I am committing to this. Now those tabs are 1/2 inch. Maybe we could have got away with cutting them at 1/4 inch, but I would have put this on before my 2 panels if I was going to do this. But in all honesty, I was going putting the Merry Christmas on the back because I didn't think that through, did I? So I'm going to pop this down here. Ooh, do I need to go up a little bit? Maybe I do. Yes, I need to go up higher. But we won't sweat it. Okay, that should work. Yeah, that will work. We need to be low enough down, you see, so that it doesn't get affected by our flippy flaps there. So yeah, I think that'll do. Now I've got a little bit of glue residue there, even though that glue dries so it's not tacky, you know, but I'm still going to take my little bit of embossing buddy powder and I'll just take the excess off there, and then we can glue that on there like so. Yay, okay. And I'll use my quick grab glue as well for this. That should be good. Simone, where did you get that glue thing you've been using? Who asked me that? Sharon. Hello, Sharon. Good afternoon, if you're anywhere in the UK or Ireland. That glue thing is a Misty glue press. And I got that on the old interweb. So this is what it is. This is the Misty glue press. It's from My Sweet Petunia, it's from My Sweet Petunia, Make It. It's an American company, and this is their glue press. So when you purchase it, when I purchased this, I got the press, which is this part, right? And then with it, I got a full bottle of Tonic Nouveau glue. Nouveau is by Tonic. And I also got an empty bottle, so you can fill that with your glue of choice. The top of your Nouveau sits there, your glue bottle sits in there, and then as you squeeze the handle, your glue comes out, and then you sit it in there. It stops the glue from coming out, and it keeps it down towards the bottom. Now, do I like this? I do, but my pet peeve is, at the end of the day, when you're finished crafting, I would recommend you put your pin in, but then it won't sit into the press, which annoyed me. It's the little things. So I took a pin. Now this is one, it's a stainless steel pin, so this will not rust when it comes in contact with glue or water or any liquid. I use jewelry findings. So this is a pin that you would use for making jewelry, for making earrings or whatever like that, so it won't rust. But if you're putting a pin, any pin, in any glue bottle, make sure that they are stainless steel so that they don't rust. You want ones that won't rust. And the reason I like this little ball end pin, I hope you can see it there, look, is because this is pinning my glue, which is what is in your cap. There's a little pin in there, and then when I pop it in there, it stands. So I have gone away for, when my visitors were over, my daughter and family were over, I did this, set it there, and I didn't use my craft room for nearly 2 weeks. And when I came out to use that, I pulled out the pin with a little bit of prompting. It worked. But before that, this would get blocked. Even though it has the little rubber bit at the bottom, I still was a little frustrated. Now, there's other people that have no issues with it getting blocked. I think it's down to your craft room and the heat in your craft room and everything. But that worked a treat for me. Would I recommend this if you have hand issues? I have tendinitis here. I've also got a little bump going on there. It's a cyst. So I do get a bit of pains in my wrist, and I found this works. So for that reason, it's a good purchase. But do you know, just pull out your glue bottle and squeeze it? Works just as well. So if you have hand issues, I prefer this one. We Are Memory Keepers, I think they brought out their version, and that one didn't appeal to me so much, but I do like that one. Now there we go. We've got our Merry and our Christmas, and our whole thing pops up and it will lock into place in there. Yes, there we go, locks into place. And then we have our little, lovely. I love that. And it's very discreet because where I cut up a little extra is behind the piece right back here. You wouldn't even see it. I do think that looks savage. Okay, so I need to get myself into gear, and you can see how nicely that sits there, you know, sits lovely. I think I would put a little bit of a curve on my Christmas, but we do have our Merry Christmas. Lovely. I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to pull up my stamping platform and bring in my VersaFine Clair. I'm going to pull out my, where is my stamps and dies for this one? Oh my goodness, where did I put them? Not there. Oh, oh, there they are. They fell on the floor. That's probably the bang that ghost was barking at. Oh, let me bend down and get that. Very professional. I'm sure Benita's laughing. Right, so on this we have some lovely sentiments. Now, you could pull out a sentiment from your stash with, it's Christmas wishes and blessings to all, you know, la 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 la. But I'm going to use the stamps from the stamp set just because, hey ho, we're here, why not? And I love the have a ho ho ho. I really think it should have had ho ho ho, a lot of fun. But we have a ho ho. So whether you're a ho ho or a ho 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 type of person, have a ho ho whole lot of fun this Christmas. And I'm going to go with that. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to stick that onto this. So I'm using a stamping platform. Now I want to make sure, because one side is longer than the other, you see what I mean? So make sure you have this the right way up. There we go. Because these are the little things we forget to do and then we stamp it the wrong way round. So that way, add my little magnets on there, and then I'm going to pull out my stamp. And you could stamp some of the images and color them in if you want, but I'm going to take some of my images and I'm going to cluster them across the bottom. So I think that's about centered there and straight enough. Sure, we're not going to sweat the small things. Is it straight? Straight enough. And I have prepped my stamps. You can give them a little rub with your finger. You can take your eraser, which I has gone. Use your eraser to go over them that way. If you're finding your stamps are beading, that the ink is like little beads on it, or puddling or whatever, by conditioning your stamp, you might find that that helps to do that. I find using my eraser works the best rather than just rubbing them over my fingers or my hand. You'll see some crafters do that. And then simply allow time for the ink on your stamp to transfer to the paper. And you get a lovely stamp. And if you check your stamp itself and you see there's little bits of ink on there, then go back and give them a press with the ink that was on the stamp. And there we go. That'll do nicely, donkey. Lovely. So I shall put that stamp back on later. Oh, we have a delivery. Guys, excuse me, I'm going to do a little intermission while I see who that is. Sorry about that. I had a delivery at the door, hence the reason the dog was barking, etc. So let's get back to our card now. Okay, so we have our stamped sentiment to go on the back. We need to just embellish it now and finish up. So let's do that. I'm going to use my Koala to stick this down. There's a big box now set in the front porch and I was not going to go lifting that. I think that's one for hubby. So it can sit there now till he comes home and he can bring that in. Jeanette, is Jeanette gone? I'm off, my lovelies, Tracy said. Oh, Tracy, sorry if I missed that. Catch you in Sam's live. She'll be on later at 2 this afternoon, BST. Lovely. Okay. Just give that a bit of pressure and a little bit of time. The Koala takes just a couple of seconds more to grip. So I just want to make sure. Otherwise, I've put stuff on using Koala and then it hasn't set. You know, I've done it too quick and moved on and it's slid a little bit. It's moved a little bit. So make sure that looks lovely. And that looked lovely now. Okay. And we'll pop some of our images on. And for that, I'm going to use my quick grab glue. I'll pop my pin back out. Never out cap on mine and it's fine. Oh, never put a cap on mine and it's fine. It doesn't clog. Has to be absolutely level surface though. There you go. It was just something I found that it was doing to me, and my redneck fix for that was to use the pin. Benita is saying, no, it's not a Misty. No, I know it's not a Misty. It's Sweet Petunia glue press. I'm just reading back in the comments. Where is our box? There it is. Now, I have some of my images here, and these are ones that I printed up using just my color inkjet paper and then went over them with a little marker. Or we have our images here. Can you see the difference? But I don't know if I want to take the time. I might just fussy cut out the Santa because I want him at the front. So I might just cut him out because he's lovely and vibrant. So I'll quickly do that with my scissors. And I think the rest I can do later and throw into the box, because I am certainly going to use the others that I have there, but you can definitely see the difference between the two, do you know? So yeah, I'll pull that out. Oh, fussy. Now there are dies for it, but to be honest, by the time I pull out my die cutting machine, put it into place, I will definitely faff with it for like 2.5 seconds to make sure I get it even. So this will be just as quick. And it's just for one, so I'll use the rest of them in the little tub. They'll be grand. I might cut out a couple more of the Christmas trees and have them in the background. But yeah, a lot of you in the comments that have the glue press are saying that you really do like it. I wouldn't not recommend it, you know. If you can afford it and want it, I would say get it. If you can afford it and need it, then I would say get it. But I don't think it's something you necessarily have to stretch yourself for if you don't need it to purchase, because it's not a cheap buy. Now I can't remember what I paid for it, but I do know that I'm here in Ireland and we actually bought it from I think it was Amazon in the Netherlands. No, we didn't. I think hubby bought it from Cloud9 Crafts in the Netherlands. I'm nearly sure. Don't quote me on it though. Anyway, I do know he bought it for me, and he bought it in the Netherlands. We were going over to visit our daughter, so we had it delivered there because it was cheaper. I think for me to buy it here, including postage and all the things, was like €56. And I just thought, wow, €56, like it's a lot. I know I'm a content creator and it's nice to have all the things. And do I want all the things? I do. But I was betwixt and between about whether I should purchase it or not. I wasn't too sure. And yeah, so hubby for a finish was like, look, we'll get it. And he got it over there. Now, do I want my 2 Christmas trees there and my Santa in the middle? Or do I want a cluster? I think I'll put my Christmas trees on the back here and here. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Right, so I want them here and on the other side. So, and you can overhang a little on this. Now I'm gonna pop this flat so you can see. When you're placing stuff on this, you want to be able to close the doors. So I'm gonna put that there. And now I can add a little bit of glue onto the back here. Hold it down, but I want to make sure that it's not going to go over. Now on the other side, look, we've loads of room on the other side because we've all this. But it's kind of like, I've struggled a little bit with getting this right in the middle, but I figure it's close enough, you know. So let's see, I'm going to add some glue onto this one here and over onto this corner. Oh, okay. And I'll do the same over on this one and just give that a little minute. There. Now we could do a cluster of trees in here in the back, and then we've got our little Santa on the front. I like the idea of him having, you know, his little book there like that, and we can have maybe a cluster of little gifts on this side. Like that. This is the part I speed through when I'm doing a video. Because yeah, okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll stick this down there like that. We'll put a little bit of glue there. I've got my Santa there and my little scroll like that. Do I want another little gift on the other side? No, I don't like that. This is what can take me ages. I think I'll just have Santa there like that. Yeah. So let's stand this up, pop it into place. I'll have my Santa there and my little scroll there. Lovely. Okay, so I want to add my glue down here, and just be very careful of where you're adding glue, because you've got mechanisms down here and you've got mechanisms back here as well, and you have the slot there. So just be aware of where you're sticking your glue. I think I might put his hand behind that one there. And this is what your little squeezers or your squeezable tweezers are good for, to make sure that your pieces glue down. And then I want that there, like as if he's got the list and he's chuffed with it. So I'll add a little bit of glue down into that corner and a little bit of glue there onto his hand. And again, I will use my squeezers just to apply a bit of pressure. Jill said, that's a posh intermission. I know it's a while since I did it, but yeah, because I mean, it's Murphy's Law. You're doing a live stream, you're bound to have some delivery arrive. So I figured, you know, I would do an intermission. Look at that. Doesn't that look class? I think that now with a couple of Christmas trees in the background and you'd be sparking, be fabulous. So we have our, do you know what? I'm going to quickly, I am so bold, I know, but I want to use the North Pole. And I just love those images. If I could have quicker, if I could have quicker printed those up and had them done and fussy cut or die cut out, I would have done. But sure, this is grand. I'm very quickly going to just die cut this out, because when I die cut these out, I do them one at a time. I know I'm awful. I'm sure lots of you just pile them all on, stick them down with a bit of tape and run them through. I just hate it when I get them out and they're uneven because they've moved. So I'm awful when I'm die cutting little images like this. So look, I have a fussy cut now already. And I'm giving it a little extra length just so I can, but I just think it needs a North Pole back there. I just think that looks, it just needs that. Or do we want it at this side? What do we think? I think I'll put it on the other side. Yeah, I think I'll put it over here. Yippee-doo, that's what I'll do. And again, it's just this top corner that I need my adhesive on. If you leave enough room between the stamping. Simone, can you use the dies to cut after scanning them and printing them out? Yes. I'm like, what? Yes, you can, because I have die cut out images in there and I scanned them. I scanned and printed, and they worked perfectly. So it just depends on your settings. But sure, look, scan them and print them. And if they're not right, then you know it's your settings and you'll have to fussy cut them. But for me, I scanned them in, and when I printed them out, they printed out perfectly. So I think I have my printer set to borderless, but Yeah, no, they printed for me. What do we think of that? I know the North Pole sign is kind of hidden behind our Santa and his list there, but it's dimensional. So when that's set down and you're looking at it head on like what I'm doing, you see it all. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, I think I'm going to pop. The last time I did this, I put a little teddy bear each side here, which I loved. I really did. I love that. I love the little car, and you could do little clusters there as well. So I might do the little bear on one side, those on the other. I do like to have a little few elves on the back there, as if they're all there with Santa. We want a couple of green ones. So a green one, an orange one. There's a little red one. Yeah, I think we'll go with her, and him. Those three I think I'll put there. And I think I'll put those two. Do I have a red car? I should have a little red car. Sorry now. This, you see, this is what happens, folks. This is what happens. And I've got pink on that bear. Do I have a little car? No. Right. I have a little red car here. So again, I'm going to fussy cut the little red. I just want a little red car with the green robot. So again, I'm just fussy cutting these out rather than die cutting them, because it's quicker for me during the live. But the images that I had, I think, in the video were die cut, and the majority of them are die cut as well. But I'll quite happily sit down in front of the telly and be watching a movie or something, and I will, or even a YouTube video, and I will quite happily. There now, I think I prefer that. That just pops better, I think. Right, so let's get these finished up. We'll throw our couple of little elves in there, and I think I'll do them with your one at the background there like that. So I'll put her on first. We'll put a little drop of glue on the back of her. And the top of these are kind of floating. I've no glue on them because they're floating. And I'm going to sit her a little bit in front of my Mary, because I know that it's, you know, it's a Mary sign. So there we go. She's in there. And then I'm going to put the other two beside her. Sorry, missed loads, Pippa said. Been having some sort of arrangements for Daddy's funeral. Oh, we'll watch what I missed later. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss there, Pippa. Sorry to hear that. We'll put that one there. Yeah, definitely sorry for your loss, Pippa. Very sorry to hear that. Which Stampin' Die set are you using? Jill asked. Is it an older one? No, the one I'm using here is the recent one. It's from the, let me just get a little bit of glue on this, because talking and doing can be hard. It's the recent one from the June collection, which is what this box mechanism is from. I'll tell you now what it's called, because I have it here. Here? Where did I put it? If you could see what's going on behind me and around me, you'd be like, oh my goodness. What? Oh, it's here. Look, it's here. So this is the Stampin' Dies that I'm using. It's the Christmas at the North Pole A5 stamp set, and I'm using the, try not to lose any dies, Simone. This is the exploding box mechanism, and they are linked down below. There is a link to Craft World, and if you want to purchase any of those, please do use my affiliate link. I would really appreciate that. Yeah, it's also in the description. So if you're watching live, it's in the comment section. But if you're watching this live after it's finished, you can have a look in the description there and you'll see that in there. I'm going to put our little teddy bear there. It's hidden behind the Christmas, but when you're looking at this, you know, you definitely see it. We could also add some clusters onto our card base here as well. I'm going to add my robot onto the back there. I might just use the tweezers to hold it so I don't get gluey hands. So they're the products that I'm using today. I mostly use Made to Surprise products in my lives and my videos. I'm brand ambassador, which is lovely. I don't get any of the product for free, but I like to purchase it and I like to use it. And Sam, who is a friend of mine, I'm very lucky to say, she has said that I should totally be brand ambassador. So that's what I am, and I love it. I'm very, very proud of that fact that Sam has made me brand ambassador. So yeah, it's a product I love to use. It's a product I pay for, and that's why I use it on my channel, you know. So we'll put our little car down there as well. Lovely. And we could add a couple of clusters over here, which I'm going to do because we have them, so we might as well use them. So I'll add the Christmas tree back here, and I'm going to add maybe a gift box or two. Might add them over here actually, and I'll add something smaller. I'll add a little car and a little, let's see. Oh, there's a red car, look, and I was looking for one. I think I might add the teddy bear and the car just over there. Yeah. So I'll add the bear down first. I mean, I know that, you know, the bear is really big and the tree in the background, but it's not about that. It's just about adding the fun things to embellish, you know. Lovely. And I might add these two together and this one then on the front, or we could add, yeah, I need to cut some more. I might do, yeah, I might add those two cluster gifts. Down here. And this one, because I don't have any of the round gifts in there, and I'm seeing them on my printed one. I'll put that there. And I might just quickly cut out this one. How are we doing? Oh my goodness, 5-1. Folks, I wouldn't be surprised if you were all wanting to head away and get some lunch. I did not intend to keep everyone this long, but you know what? When you when you're enjoying making a card, yeah, you just want to get on with it, you know. I'm going to finish off a couple on the back and then we shall be done. I don't usually go this long. I'm sure Benita is saying, will you ever come on, Simone? Right, I'm going to put this one on here. You can see the vibrancy, the difference between that one and the two on the back. And then for the back, I'm going to press this down and flatten this. Take your time when you're doing it. I just want to add a couple of little pieces on the back just to finish it up, you know, so you can get to see it finished, because I hate being like, oh, I'll do this later, I'll do that later. I like to try and get it all done when I'm doing it. I'll pull in my little weight there and that can hold that down while I might pop a little, one or two of my little elves then on the other side. Yeah, that'll do nicely. I've really had so much fun making these cards using this mechanism. And although it's, you know, Sam brings out mechanisms with a design idea, I love the fact that you can take these mechanisms and you can run with them, you know, in a way and change them up. And that's what I tend to do when I get them. I like to put my twist on them. And I think you'll agree, if I tidy up a little bit here, move things out of shot. Let's see how we're doing. So this is our gatefold card. The whole thing folds up. Now, like I said, there is a bit of bulk there at the bottom, but this will go into a bouncy envelope. You can do a belly band on this. I'm not a belly band fan, I have to say. I would just pop this into an envelope and put it in with a gift or whatever. But I find when the person takes it out of the envelope and they open it, it's, you know, it does what it says on the tin. So that's the back of our card. Have a ho, ho, ho lot of fun this Christmas, and we have embellished it with some of the images. And then when you open our card, the whole thing opens out with our, I mean, that just stuck on there looks fab, but when you pop the box up and it all locks into place just like so, I love it. And you've got that little swivel on the box so that it, you know, the whole thing will fold flat. It sits, oh, it sits so lovely. And I love the little, you know, you could really go to town on this, you know, fa la 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 across the back there. I think this done in an 8x8 size would be fabulous, because you'll have all the room then to put your sentiment on there. But for a 6x6 card, it's more or less, I think it's 5 3/4 by 6. I do love that. I love the couple of elves there in the background, the North Pole, our Santa with the gifts, and his list of who's naughty and who's nice. I am so chuffed with this card. So I hope that it was worth being here with me for 2.5 hours. I'm going to come back to me. There we go. And I'm going to show you our lovely card that we've made. There it is. I'll bring it in a little closer. You can see it there. I love it. I love it. It's inspired by Sam's one that she has made, which it sits on a flat panel so that you can pop the back box up. It's also inspired by the live that I did last week showing this mechanism in an 8x8 card, as well as my video of the 6x6 card. So yeah, there are links down in the description for you to Craft World and Amazon. They're affiliate links. There are all the measurements down below as well, and all the things that you need. The two videos that I've talked about, my live and my video, are down below. Sasha's video sharing about her journey with printing images and what works for her, what's the most vibrant, that's down there. So have a look in the description. I'm going to say thank you very much to my moderator, Benita, who is under a pile of papers, for moderating for me. Thank you to everyone who joined me, especially Rita, Jan, Deb, Caroline, Hazel, Tammy, Lynette, Liz, Jill, Sandra, who else? Have I missed anyone? I think I've kind of got everyone. There was so many. We've 29 now for finishing up, but you've been with me 2.5 hours, so I really appreciate it. So I'm going to leave it there, folks. Until next time, and keep an eye, because I generally go live on a Wednesday morning. So if you'd like to join me for some crafting and some chat, I would love to see you then. So until then, take care, stay safe, and bye for now. Bye.